Okay, so here we are. We have another question here. Let's find f of g of x. Well, if I'm going to find f of g of x, that means f of g of x, which I know is f of g is x minus 2. And then I know that this here is my x value. It goes in for x. So it's x minus 2 squared plus 3. And it wants to put it in standard form. Before I go in standard form, a quick review. This 2, 3 is the vertex. It's been shifted to the right 2 and up 3. But to put it into standard form, I just multiply it out. So I go x minus 2 times x minus 2 plus 3, which is x squared minus 4x plus 4 plus 3. So x squared minus 4x plus 7 is f of g of x in standard form. A part, this is sufficient for A part, and this is B part. So now it says, explain why it's not possible to solve this equation. Well, that equation simply says that x squared plus 3 equals x minus 2, this is g, minus x squared. Okay, so now if I do this algebraically, I can get 2x squared minus x plus 5 equals 0. And if I know there's no solution, I'm going to now go to quadratic formula, which means x equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Well, that's going to be 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 1 squared minus 4 times 2 times 5 over 2 times 2. Well, that's 1 plus or minus 1 minus 40 over 4, which is 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 39 over 4. And I know I cannot have it, therefore no solution. But this also says two reasons, algebra and graphically. Well, if I think about these two graphs here, let me just take this work here. If I think about those two, I will do this in black. I know I have x squared plus 3 means it is simply like this, or this is 3. If I look at this one, I get negative x squared plus x minus 2. Well, I know the y-intercept is negative 2. And if I factor out the negative, I get no, let's do it a different way. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to find the vertex. The vertex I know is going to be x equals minus b over 2a, which is 1/2. So somewhere around here is the vertex on this line here. If I take that negative 1/2, I go negative 1/2 squared plus 1/2 minus 2. Well, 1/2 squared is negative 1/4 plus 1/2 minus 2. Well, negative 1/2 plus 1/2 is plus 1/4 minus 2. And that's going to be negative 1 3/4. So equal to 1.75 with a negative. So the vertex is at negative 1/2, negative 1.75. I know the graph is going down. It looks like this. And so I can clearly see from the graph that there is no intersection at all. So therefore, no solution. And finally, it says to solve this particular scenario without a GDC. So if I paste that, I can remember that f of x is x squared plus 3 and bigger than x minus x minus 2 plus 5. So I have x squared plus 3 is bigger than x plus 3. Subtracting 3's, I get x squared is bigger than x. Now be careful here. I cannot divide by x because that's going to be one of my solutions. So I'm going to subtract the x bigger than 0. And then I factor out the x. And I know I have this one is 0 and this one is x equals 1. Choosing values, so if I choose a negative value over here somewhere, like negative 100, this is negative, and that is definitely negative. So two negatives make a positive. If I look at positive 1/2, let's say, that's a positive. Half minus 1, that's a negative. So that will be negative. And if I look at a big giant number, let's say 100, that's going to be a positive value. The equation is saying where is it positive? Well, it's clearly going to be positive here and here. And so x is less than 0 or x is bigger than 1 is the solution.